just like have my, oh my god, sorry. Even your like your throat feels weird. My cough is gone, but apparently I've still got throat stuff. So I was going to come in and do the next chapter for Super Tractor, but I have been wanting to do this video for a really long time. I've had a few people in here ask me, and then a few people outside of here. So I wanted to do this, and then I'll eventually throw it into a YouTube video so I can send it to the people who aren't in here. Hey Meg. Okay, the Emotion Code book. I know I talked about this book in here a little while ago. Hey Sherry. If you've read this, definitely comment below your experience with it, because I'm super curious, or if you've worked with an emotion code practitioner. So I am not certified. I'm no expert in this, but I did read the book, and I have released like tons of emotions from myself in heartwalls. So I have lots of practice on myself and to other people. But anyway, so you can get certified in this. It really seems like a really neat certification. I was super into it, but I know it's not really like where my path is going, but awesome. So the whole point of this is basically we have his theory, which I totally buy into, is that we have trapped emotions. They can be from a traumatic event. So it can be like an obvious thing you can think back that you know you're gonna have trapped emotions about. It could be from a really tough relationship. It could be something that you didn't think was a big deal at the time maybe, but it somehow got trapped in there. It could be from anything. It can be inherited while you were in your mother's womb. It can be inherited from ancestors, parents, their parents, blah, blah, blah. So I'm gonna tell you, this is a little out there for some of you. I'm guessing this is gonna be a little out there, and I totally understand. A few years ago, I would have been like, "What the heck is she talking about?" Hey Maggie. So basically, this book is all about releasing your trapped emotions, and then what he also talks about is your heart wall. So basically, according to him, what happens is around your heart, you build up walls to sort of protect it. So your body is thinking it's protecting itself, so the emotions don't feel so intense. But what happens is we build up these heart walls, which are like tons of trapped emotions kind of packed all around our heart, and it makes it so we're also not feeling the good emotions as much. So his huge thing with this is you can release trapped emotions, you can release heart walls. You can have more than one heart wall. I think when I did it, I had 3 heart walls. You can have hidden heart walls. You can have absorbed emotions from other people. So if you watched someone go through a really tough time, you may have absorbed their emotions from that. And you probably also have your own emotions from that. I'm getting better. I'm a recovering feeling my emotions person. I don't know what you want to call it. But my at least 30 something years of life, I totally purposefully did not feel my emotions so many times. I purposefully shoved things down so I could be in control. If you're like that, feel free to let me know. We can recover together. So anyways, because of that, I had a heckload of emotions to clear. So what I did is I wrote it all out in a journal. And you can do this yourself just by buying this book and going through all his methods. Or like I said, there are people that are certified in emotion code and body code. They have another one now, practitioners. But all you need is a magnet. Like this is a kitchen magnet. All you need is a magnet. And then you need a way of testing. So I don't know if you've ever gone somewhere where they like muscle test your arm. So a lot of like, my hair is like driving me crazy in the video today. A lot of like natural type places like a chiropractor or a naturopath, they might do muscle testing on your arm. So like they'll ask your body, you know, is this supplement right for you? And if your arm stays up, that's a yes. And if it goes down, it's a no. There's a lot of different ones. There's ones you can like muscle test doing this. If you're interested in the muscle testing aspect, just go on YouTube. There's so many ways to muscle test. People do the sway test, so you could stand, ask your question, and for most people, a yes is forward and a no is backwards. However, I like using my pendulum, so you can also use a pendulum. For me, this is just like, I do so much more better with this because it's such an obvious answer. So I have hard doing these things when I'm like, am I resisting my arm? Is it going up? Is it going down? Or am I pulling it weird? So I like the pendulum. To me, it's just like much more cut and dry. If you don't have a pendulum, you could loop a ring around a necklace. You could just use a necklace that has like a heavy bottom part. This is literally, it's just like a crystal, which could be anything, and some sort of string. This, you don't technically need, like, this isn't doing anything. It's what we're using it for. It's just a tool. So for me, my pendulum swings this way for yes and that way for no. So this is gonna be a little complicated if you haven't read the book. I will say, I did kind of ask my guides type thing. I can offer like, what did they say? $24 for like each session. But like I said, I'm not certified. So if you really want to go down this, you might want to either read the book yourself or get someone that's certified. But if you feel like after I talk about this, you want to know more, I can tell you what I can do to help you. Oh, and also what is really interesting is, so you may have heart walls. You may have trapped emotions, like I said, kind of just wherever. Absorbed emotions, inherited emotions. Oh, I'm like, what was I just gonna say? If you have like something weird that like your doctor can't figure out. So say like, I don't know, your knee is like super bothering you, and you're like, what the heck? Like, I didn't do anything. I'm not running a marathon. Like, why is my knee just like bothering me? And like, you've gone to the doctor and they're like, your knee's fine. There's nothing wrong with you. This would be an opportunity to ask, is there a trapped emotion relating to the pain in my knee? Which is kind of interesting. So if you have something weird, it could even be like an anxiety that you can't place. If you look up emotion code, it's pretty amazing the different people stories you can find that by releasing these things, they felt better. Like I said, I've released a lot for me. I released a ton of heart wall junk. And I definitely feel lighter. I think a few times I've done like, oh, is this pain from an emotion? And it has helped a little bit, but whatever. So here we go. This is how you do it. So this is in the book. This, I printed one off online just because I didn't want to have to keep opening the book every time. Like, here, I'll just show you. It's the same one that's in the book. But what you do, it's like, so, what I would do is I would say, do I have a trapped emotion that is ready to be released? If I was asking for you, I would obviously use your own name, but I'm going to pretend you're doing it for yourself. So you would say, do I have a trapped emotion that's ready to be released? So I'm getting a yes. We're humans. We're always trapping emotions, right? So I got a yes. So then what I would say, there are two columns. So I would say, is it in column A? So I would say, is my trapped emotion that's ready to be released in column A? I got a yes. Yeah.
Ever heard a sound like weird? Like that sounded like in a Paw Patrol?
Uh-huh.
It's just some bullfrogs.
Oh, just some bullfrogs? Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. I'm just doing a quick little video.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
I need another Paw Patrol.
Oh, can you go find a snack for a second?
What?
Daddy said you can have the other half of his cookie. By the way, his chocolate chip cookie.
Oh.
That'll work for 30 seconds. Okay, so we got column A. So then, if you notice, there are 6 rows. So now I know my trapped emotion is in column A, row 6. By the way, you can only do one trapped emotion at a time. So I'm going to say, okay, is it in an odd row in column A? Getting a yes. So I would say, okay, is it in row 1 of column A? Getting a no. Is it in row 3 of column A? Getting a yes. Okay, so now I've narrowed it down to row 3, column A. So I know it's one of these emotions. So then I would say, is it crying? Getting a no. Is it discouragement? Getting a no. Is it rejection? He's already coming back. Is it sadness? Is it sorrow? Okay, so I gotta know for, did you find it?
Yeah.
So I gotta know for everything. So sometimes, okay, sometimes you can have it.
You have to come
Give you a Paw Patrol?
my Paw Patrol.
Okay, I'll be right there. See if you can get on the right screen.
What?
See if you can flip to the right screen.
What do I do?
Use your finger.
Use my finger?
Yeah. Okay, so sometimes when that happens, it might be an inherited emotion because I didn't get a yes for anything. So I would say, okay, is my emotion in... Okay, I'm gonna... Okay.
I don't know what.
Okay, I'll come with you. Okay, here, we'll go find it. Okay, sorry. Okay, by the way, that's like a million stickers behind me. We bought that when Henry's a baby. So where was I? We were in column A, row 3. I got a no for everything, which means it's probably inherited. So I'm gonna say, okay, is my emotion in column A, row 3 inherited? Giving a yes. And then I go through the emotions again. So inherited means it came from either my mom or my dad or someone down their line. It's pretty interesting sometimes. I'll be like, okay, is this inherited from my mom? Did she get it from her mom? Did she get it from her mom? Did she get it from her mom? And it can just like go back like crazy far. Okay, is it discouragement? Is it rejection? Is it sadness? Which we get all no's now. Is it sorrow? Getting all no's again. So that could mean it's absorbed. So it does get a little tricky as you're going through, but once you do it like a bunch of times, it becomes easier. So I'm gonna say, okay, is the absorbed emotion crying? Okay, that was lucky. Okay, so the absorbed emotion is crying. So then I would say, okay, is this an inherited absorbed emotion from my mom? No. Is this an inherited absorbed emotion from my dad? Yes. Did he get it from his dad? Actually, no. If it's absorbed, it's just from my dad. Okay. So then I would say, is there anything else I need to know about this? If it is your own that you're clearing, I find you usually do need to know a little bit about it before you clear it. So you can ask, did this happen in the first 5 years of my life? Did this happen from 5 to 10, from 10 to 15, or whatever? And usually what I found is if I knew the emotion and I knew around the age it happened, the scenario that caused it kind of popped into my head, and I was able to ask, okay, is it from this? And get a yes or no. So a lot of times it is important. You don't have to go through you don't have to like remember every detail of the experience, but sometimes it is helpful to just remember, okay, this emotion was when this happened, and just consciously know, okay, now I'm going to release it. So the way to release them, once you know what they are, step 1, figure out what it is. Step 2, you actually release it. So use a magnet. I don't know the science behind it. There's something about we're energy beings and we have magnetic stuff, right? He says you can just use your hand. However, I think the magnet, I don't know, but I just have been using the magnet. But supposedly you can also just use your hand with the intention of what you're doing. If it is your own emotion, what you're going to do is say, like, let's pretend this was my own emotion. So, well, never mind. I'm going to do what I actually did first, and then I'll tell you if it was your own. Since this was an inherited emotion, you swipe 10 times. So, and what I'm going to be thinking when I do inherited emotions are, I'm releasing it from me and anyone else that was affected by it. So in this case, it was me and my dad. So I'm thinking I'm releasing it from me, and I'm thinking I'm releasing it from him with that intention. And I do it 10 times. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm ready to release the emotion of crying from both me and my dad. And so you start here, and you just do 10 swipes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I can ask, you usually feel like a little bit lighter too, was this emotion released? And then I got a yes. If it wasn't, I would do it again. If you were doing this on someone else, so like I've done a few on the boys, you would run it like from their neck down their back on them. And if it is just your emotion, you just do it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. I realize it seems kind of silly. However, I could totally feel the difference after I do it. And for me, when I did the inherited ones, especially inherited on my mom's side, I could just like feel the extra energy of everyone like that has passed, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, I feel like that's all I'm gonna say for now. But so if you feel like you have a ton of trapped emotions, I don't know if you can hear my dog. Oh, of course, when Owen's sleeping. I think I should stop her. Yeah. So if you feel like you're gonna go on a walk with me. If you feel like you have a ton of trapped emotions, enough, not a couch. Thank you. If you feel like you have trapped emotions, and you haven't found a way to get rid of them, this might be something that interests you. Like I said, if you do it for yourself, you do need to be able to learn how to muscle test or use something like a pendulum to figure out which emotion you're clearing. And if this super resonates and you don't want to do it yourself, you can go online and find an emotion code practitioner. Like I said, I did ask my cosmic team, whatever you want to call it. They did say I could offer for $24 a session. So it could be about anything. It could be to release your heart wall. And I can talk more about this if you just want to talk to someone else or me. But if you want to release your heart wall, like I said, if you have some kind of weird manifestation of something in your body and you don't know what it's from, if you can't get rid of a certain thought, or if I'm even wondering, like, if you've been really trying to lose weight and you can't, or trying to gain weight and you can't, or you're kind of self-sabotaging yourself. What else? You feel like stuck, like you can't move on from something. I say it's worth a shot. Why not? What else did I do it for? Oh, and if you know the event that you would have the traumatic trapped emotions around, that could also be something that you might want to try to release. So that's the emotion code. That is what I have been doing with it. I did it straight for like a month and just released like probably 7 emotions a day for a month. Clearly I still have more to do, but yeah, it's been super interesting. Yeah, so if you've read the book, totally let me know. I would love to know your experience. If you have more questions, write them down below. I think that's good. And hopefully I will read the next chapter in Super Tractor and be able to come in here soon. I haven't had my parents over this week, so I haven't had time without children.